G'day everybody. I wanted to talk about an issue I've had with my battery charger, the CTEK. I think it's 250 something or other. Most of you know the CTEK unit. It's one of those solar panel chargers that connects your solar panels to your AGM and your alternator battery and so forth. It's supposed to work on the basis that it charges your AGM battery from solar panels or from the vehicle alternator when you're driving, depending on what it decides to choose at the time where you got power from and so forth. And if your AGM battery is full, the solar panel will charge your alternator battery. So there's 4 posts. One's a solar panel, one's for the battery, one's for your AGM battery, that is, one's for your alternator, and one's your ground connection. When I first installed the unit, working great, it was working. It charged the AGM, and when the AGM was full, it went through trickle charge and so forth. When that was full, it would charge the alternator battery. Not an issue. But then I started loading up my truck with cigarette lighters and so forth. I don't use I don't connect permanently connect a USB in my truck or my canopy. I'll explain that why, but bear with me a second. What am I going to say? I don't use fixed USB in my vehicle, whether it be the camper or the truck. I like to plug mine in and out. When I need one, I plug it in. When I don't need it, I take it out. These are standards, seem to be becoming standard these days, but the standards change. Today you've got USB-A that becomes fairly standard things, and then tomorrow you'll have USB-C, which is starting to become mainstream, and then you get some other standard coming out, 10 years down the track. Cigarette lighters have never changed. They've been around for a long time, and everything I've purchased you either plug into a cigarette lighter or you take out. But the problem with these things being fixed is that they provide what they call a parasitic load. I've been having problems with my CTEK unit charging my alternator battery, because it keeps on wanting to charge the AGM battery, and the reason why it keeps on charging the AGM battery is that the AGM battery is always on a float mode. It's always been on float, and the reason for that, I believe, is because of parasites, the parasitic loads. The parasitic load is a load you have in the circuit in your system that draws power from your battery constantly. It might be the car radio, it might be whatever it is, it just draws a parasitic load. If you've got USB fixed to your camper and your USB connects to your battery, chances are it's always on. And that creates a parasitic load on your battery. It's always drawing power from your battery. In these things, there's a little USB things that I tend to use on my truck, and I use these for a reason, is there's a voltage regulator in there. It regulates your voltage from 12 volts, 14 volts, whatever, down to 5 volt, to whatever current it may be. It could be 1 amp, 1.2, whatever, 2, whatever, 5 amps, whatever it is. Depending on how many regulators you have in there, they're connected in parallel. You could have 1, 2, 5, 10, 20 amps, doesn't matter. The more you put in, the more they can design this work to whatever you want. These regulators, it's not an issue, the current rating of them. What it is that when they're in circuit, this particular one doesn't have a light, it just has 2 USB. Probably a couple of voltage regulators in there. It doesn't matter what they are, the semiconductors, whether they're diodes or FETs or ICs, it doesn't matter. They're still switched on. They're constantly switched on. So they're always drawing some power from your battery. Some of them have got no lights, some of them have got a little light that indicates that there's power to it. Others have got little, like this one here has got a little voltage readout that gives you the voltage. I like these little voltage ones, they're quite good. These are called smart USB, or smart regulated USB or something or other. And they're quite good, because I think they parallel internally, if you want more power from this, like my daughter's connected iPads to it, and they draw more power from one of these than what they can with one of these single USB ones. So rated 2.1 amps. I think they must parallel or do something inside and increase the power that they can deliver, if the power is available, of course. So these are quite good. They're called the, oh, I can't say, sorry guys, too many glasses on in a minute. This is called PowerTech Plus. PowerTech Plus, and they're a smart dual USB car charger, model MP3 something or other. I can't read very well, guys. It says input 12 to 24 volt DC, so you can input from 12 to 24. Output 5 volt DC, 4.8 amps. It's capable of delivering 4.8 amps. So that's not too bad. But I noticed that my daughter's iPad draws quite a bit of power from these. It's able to deliver power. And I bought this one from Jaycar. I'm not going to buy everything from Jaycar. This is from Jaycar. This little one here that has no lights is from Energizer. I think that was a Safeways brand or shopping centre brand one. And the Belkin one, I have no idea where I bought that from. I can't even remember where I bought it from. I know I did buy it, but that's got a little indicator on it as well. These little things, indicator lights, voltage regulators, permanently connected, they create a load. It's as much at all you might not think it's much, but they accumulate. You have 5 or 10 of these in your truck and your camper, and they accumulate. And that is robbing power from your battery. Instead of your battery being 100%, it might be 98, 99%. And the problem is that the charger thinks it needs to be charged, and it will always stay on trickle charge. It won't charge your alternator battery. So if you're after alternator battery, what I do is I install these. I don't install cigarette lighters. I don't install the hardwired ones you buy that you can install in your vehicle. I don't install those. I don't like them because these things, they eventually go. They eventually die. And all I do is I pull one out and fit another one in. If the standards change from USB-A to USB-C, if they look like they might be heading that way, I pull the old one out and put a USB-C in there. If I want to connect my laptop computer to the car, I get my 12 volt to 20 volt converter, I fit it into the cigarette lighter socket, and I connect it to my computer, 20 volt now. So cigarette lighter socket is pretty standard, it's pretty universal. What changes are these things? These little credits, they tend to change. And with a cigarette lighter socket, I can connect whatever I want to. I've got like half a dozen cigarette lighter sockets in my truck, on the actual truck itself, connected to my AGM battery, and they're all connected to USB or other fittings. I don't hardwire these things in because one, they're electronic, they don't last forever, they will eventually get up the ghost, which means I've now got to unscrew what's there, take out what's there, and connect another one in, or buy another one. The holes might not match or whatever it is. No, I don't hardwire these in. I soft fit them, and when one goes, yeah, it's very simple. They die. Pull it out, throw it out, and buy another one. Replace it. I don't worry about hardwiring. I don't like hardwiring. I don't like hardwiring in the canopy because the canopy tends to get quite hot. Even the vehicle tends to get quite hot too. In summer, it's at the moment we're in spring, so the weather's not too bad. But in summer, the temperatures get quite hot. And these, even though if you leave them connected, or if they're hardwired, they're connected all the time. If your vehicle's on all the time in summer, the temperatures can get quite hot. These regulators probably don't take the heat very well. Okay, haven't got anything connected to it, but they're still on, still switched on. And so you might be slowly cooking them. They don't last very long in the heat. Canopies are the same. Canopies get quite hot if you're inside the canopy. I've seen a lot of people why their USB, they're fitted to the cigarette lighter, like a cigarette lighter thing. They're permanently fitted, permanently mounted. Electronic devices, they're going to go one day. And then they've got to pull them out. A lot more work than if you just fit one of these little fellas in your cigarette lighter socket and just pull it out, just fit them in, don't take them out. They're pretty sturdy. I haven't had any come loose. And that might be one of the reasons why people might permanently mount their USBs rather than cigarette lighter sockets. But these things go all the way in. They go all the way to the cigarette lighter sockets. They're very hard for that to come out, and they got good spring loads on them too. That's not a bad amount of spring on the contact. So they do wiggle a little bit, but I haven't had anything come off yet. That's the advantage of them. I don't know whether the rooftop tent's going to get any connections, any lighting and electronic devices. I don't like the idea of these inside a rooftop tent, the clamshell rooftop tent, simply because that sits in direct sunlight and that's going to cop a lot of heat when you're travelling. And so if you fit one of these in a permanent one or whatever, it's going to be really harsh on the permanent ones even. But if you leave your mobile phone, forget your mobile phone connected to one of these, and you close your clamshell tent up and start driving along, you forgot your mobile phone up there. That's going to get an awfully hot environment up there for your mobile phone. We've had horror stories, and you've all heard them, of mobile phones going up in flames. I had to see guys with their mobile phones up in the campers or iPads or whatever, tablets or whatever, up in there that they've forgotten or they left for charging or whatever. And these things catch a light. You could potentially burn your bedding, and you've been driving down the road or up the hills, whatever, with a canopy with it.